eCam throws up. Smile. Video Pencil lets you draw on live video using your iPad. You can draw on stuff like this. Today I'm going to show you how to use Video Pencil on Windows and on Mac. And then I'm going to show you how I used CueCam yesterday to show you how to use Video Pencil on Windows and Mac. And then I'm going to show you how I used CueCam today to use CueCam yesterday to show you how to use Video Pencil on Windows and Mac. And then I'm going to play a little bit of music. This is Square's TV App Lab number 82, where we talk about Video Pencil, Shoot and CueCam Presenter. This is a lab on After Hours and going out live on YouTube. I'm Michael Forrest, I make apps and other weird stuff. So this week I'm going to start with some updates. I might get a little bit on the technical side with this, so bear with me because there's a baby, a cute baby at the end of it. Latest version of CueCam is pretty solid, but I have noticed a couple of problems with videos not always loading and kind of a slow memory leak. So yesterday was supposed to be my art day where I do something creative every 2 weeks, but instead I decided I wanted to knock off these last couple of problems so I can leave it in a good place while I take a week or so off. So a plan which, you know, took a few hours out of Sharon's afternoon as well to figure out the holiday. So we're trying to figure out what we can do from Edinburgh with a baby and having to, you know, without having to spend a ton of money. But anyway, so I've spent a lot of time trying to use instruments to figure out memory problems and not being able to see what was going on. So this is for the memory leak. So yesterday I took a bit of a different tack. So I went through CueCam and turned off each subsystem one at a time and sort of like calculated the memory. So here's the sort of list of oops. What did I just do then? So here is the subsystems, and then this is like the memory usage. So yeah, like, so just so you can sort of see how many like subsystems there are on CueCam. So we've got the virtual camera. I've got all the different scene renderers that do, you know, sort of handle all this kind of stuff and send different stuff to the cameras. I've got the editor, which is the window where you do all your editing work. I've disappeared. Hey Tony. Right. I've got the yeah, there's the editor where it sort of shows you your videos and stuff. There's the contents of the cards. That's quite complicated. Then there's movie playback. There's slides, rendering. There's the dashboard. There's audio. There's networking. There's cameras. There's screen capture. And then there's no windows. So I sort of turned off each thing one at a time. So that's what these check boxes are, like what's on, what's off. And then sort of this is what I came out with. So I've got a chart where I can look at the biggest memory hogs. So you can see it's like the blue lines are when the app first launches, and then the purple lines are sort of subsequently. I'm noticing I'm a bit hot. Subsequently, like after running through a CueCam script, then like the purple lines are the memory went up by quite a lot from just like running through something. So this is like giving me a bit of an idea of where the memory use is. But then I actually looked back at instruments and I noticed it was telling me that it was mostly I/O surface allocation. So I noticed some stuff about Siphon, which made sense because I added it relatively recently. So Siphon is needed for the workflow I offer for OBS, eCam Live and Mimo Live users, the ability to bring in Video Pencil via CueCam's optimized network connection without having to use NDI or install any extra OBS plugins. So I tried turning it off, and then like the memory did stay under control when I did that, even if I left it overnight. So I was trying to figure out how to resolve this. I didn't want to turn it off by default, as this would then mean adding extra stuff to the eCam and OBS instructions to say go and turn this setting on. And most people don't need it, so it's not great that it's active all the time. Luckily, as it's open source, I was able to have a dig through the code and decided to test if upgrading to the latest version would solve the problem, which it seemed to, and then I can also like check if anything's connected. So now like I can see Siphon server has clients. So then I'm just not publishing any Siphon stuff if Siphon's not running, if there's nothing consuming it. So that seems like a good thing. Although it's a bit annoying, like, so eCam will consume Siphon feed just to show the preview, unfortunately. Hey Lorenzo, hey Tony, welcome. Right, so the video loading problems were easier to solve. And so, yeah, I sort of got a few bits and bobs that I'm trying to figure out still. Let's have a look. Yeah, a few minor fails left before I ship a new build. And I have probably introduced some problems with my code that selectively disables features for memory testing. And I have tidied up the onboarding sequence as well, even more. And so I'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, so this is like these are all my failing tests. So you see, I've got some notes like the main camera. I think the good thing about running through these tests every time I ship a build is like I keep discovering little sort of details which I just wouldn't have otherwise. So just means we're just getting really, really like high quality now with the product. The other thing I did last week was I have been able to sort out the Video Pencil landing page to reflect the latest best practices, and that's what I'm going to be covering next. But first, as promised, a cute baby. And that is how he likes watching Pingu, apparently. Okay, so let's talk about how to use Video Pencil on Windows. So I'm actually just going to play the videos. I'll sort of like cut out the stuff that's that you already know because you're here. But I'm going to just play back the instructions first. So this is gonna make things easier for me. So let's have a look. So on YouTube, right, that has done half of what it needs to do. No. Squares.tv/video pencil. Okay, right. So this is my browser. So what I'm going to show you is also I'm going to put the levels somewhere. I've set eCam to have its windows on top of everything, but I'm finding it is getting in the way of stuff. Right. So this is Video Pencil. I'm just going to make this the full height of the screen. So now I've sort of trimmed down this video so it doesn't mention Video Pencil camera. I made this little cute, and I drew this animated GIF. Don't gesticulate, communicate. I forgot I even done this. So this is before using Video Pencil. This is after. You're just gonna be a cooler dude or dudette or they det. But yeah, so I just so before these were like eCam and sort of Video Pencil camera, but now I've got two buttons here. It explains that you need a virtual camera on your Mac and PC, and then it says the easiest way on the Mac is CueCam Presenter, but I've got get started on Mac, get started on Windows. So we'll start with the Windows. So, hi, I'm Michael Forrest, and I made Video Pencil, and now I'm going to show you how to set it up on Windows. So we're going to need a virtual camera with NDI support. We're going to use OBS for the virtual camera, and we're going to add an NDI plugin. So OBS is a free app that lets you create a virtual camera, so make sure you download it from obsproject.com. So we're going to download it, we're going to install it, and we're going to say yes, 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 and get that on your computer. So this is for streamers and things, but like it also has a create virtual camera, which we can use in any video software, like Zoom or Teams or whatever. So once that's downloaded, I'm just going to launch it, and you can sort of see how that looks to start with. And you see here, I'm only going to be using it for the virtual camera, and you can change your mind later. But like this is sort of gives you an option here. So the next thing we're going to do is think about NDI. So NDI is a way for devices to send video over a network. This is how you're going to connect Video Pencil to your PC, and it's going to take 3 steps to set up. Step 1, we're going to download the NDI runtime. Step 2, we're going to download the OBS plugin. And step 3, we're going to allow network access, so your iPad can be found on the network. For the first 2 steps, we're going to go over to the NDI plugin page. So this is called Distro AV. So we'll go onto here, and you can see it's got a little bit of information about how the NDI runtime is separate from the NDI plugin. So we come down to the Distro AV GitHub page and have a look for the NDI runtime, which is down here. So you click on that, that's going to take you to download, and then just make sure you whatever. I don't know what your computer looks like, but I had to sort of bypass that stuff. So yeah, then that's an installer that you can double click. Just make sure you verify this stuff yourself. Don't just do what I say just because I say. Just make sure that that's trusted. Just satisfy yourself. But once that's installed, that's going to allow you to use NDI. And then the next step is going to be to find that OBS plugin. So again, you're going to be on that installation page. You're going to look for releases, which was down there, and then go onto the releases page and then do a bit of scrolling past all the stuff. And then down the bottom, you're going to see checksums if you want to make sure, but there's a Windows x64 installer right there. So download that. And once that's downloaded, you'll double click on that. And you're going to be able to install the plugin. So this is the OBS NDI plugin, and I guess it's going to be called not OBS NDI anymore. It's going to be called whatever that new name is. And now that takes us to the third step of getting the virtual camera set up, which is to set up network access. So we're going to need to open up some ports to allow the iPad to be discovered on the network. So first go to Windows Firewall, and then we're going to go into Advanced Settings, and we are going to make 4 rules. To create a rule, how do we do that? So over here you have inbound rules, and once you've clicked on inbound rules, you can create new rule over here. We click on inbound rules, we click on new rule, that takes us to here. So we're going to open a port, we're going to go next. We're going to select UDP. So first we want, so you see we've got inbound UDP, outbound UDP. So first we'll do the UDPs. So you can just select UDP, you can type in those numbers for the port range. And these are basically the ports that NDI uses. So if we just call that NDI inbound, it should probably be called NDI inbound UDP. So we've done that first one. We're going to click on outbound, new rule, and do the same. Open ports, a new port rule next. Again, UDP, this is outbound this time. Put those numbers in there. Next. Well, allow the connection and then go next. And just make sure that's all on and then give it a name. NDI outbound. Next, finish. And now we're going to do the TCP. So back to inbound, click new rule, port, next. Leave that on TCP this time and put in the port numbers. Allow the connection. Okay, next, NDI, I'm going to call that inbound TCP. And then we're going to next go outbound rules, new rule, and this is going to be the 4th one, outbound TCP, and we're again port, select the port, go next, put in the port numbers, same port numbers every time, and go next, and say allow the connection. So this is now going to sort of open up those ports. If you know more about networking, if you have secure, like you can sort of narrow that down if you want, but if you're just on your home network, then I wouldn't worry too much about locking that down quite so much, although don't quote me on that. And then the next thing we want to do is make sure that network discovery is on, and I just got this banner, so I just turned on network discovery in Explorer. So yes, turn it on. I don't know if that needs to be public or private, but this worked for me. So then now I can see all the stuff on my local network. And we're ready to start setting up OBS, knowing that it's going to find Video Pencil. So OBS is where we're going to create our virtual camera. So we need to do 2 things. One is set up the webcam layer, and then we're going to set up the Video Pencil overlay. So we're going to create 2 layers in our scene in OBS so that we can see the camera like this, and then we can see whatever Video Pencil's doing overlaid over the top. So first we'll create a new capture device. Select your webcam. So I'm going to call that webcam. I'm going to select USB video, so that was already selected, and then I'm just going to fill the screen. You can use Control F, and then that's going to set up your webcam layer. So you see, like, here's my webcam, there it is in sources. Next we're going to go and create an NDI source. So NDI source, call that Video Pencil, and click OK. And now you're going to select, this is Video Pencil running on the iPad. So make sure the iPad is running. I've drawn a little picture to just confirm that that's running, and then I'm just going to make sure that fits the screen again. And now we have 2 layers. We have Video Pencil on top, we have webcam behind. Video Pencil is automatically transparent because it's sending a transparent NDI layer. That's the Video Pencil part. Make sure it's running, otherwise it won't show up. But if you want to see where you're drawing, you're going to want to make sure that you turn on the output in OBS. So we're going to go up to that menu, Tools, NDI, turn on that main output, and now you can see on the iPad I can select OBS. So you see there, I am seeing the output of my virtual camera on my iPad so that I know exactly where I'm drawing. And now you can just click Start Virtual Camera over here. So I've clicked it there, and that's running. Now, whenever you want to use it in Zoom, Teams, or whatever, you just set that up to be OBS Virtual Camera. in whatever streaming software, and you're going to have a video pencil. So you see here, I can draw, and note that sometimes you're going to see it mirrored because it's sort of easier to use a webcam when it's flipped like that. But often you might, if you're using video pencil, you might want to just flip that around. Your audience will still see it the right way around, but you might want to see it the right way around as well in Zoom. So you can usually like mirror that again, so that and it just means you have to learn to move your head the opposite way you'd expect, which I got the hang of a long time ago. But that is setting up video pencil on Windows. It might seem like a lot, but that's only the first time, and then in future you just make sure you've selected OBS. Well, you have to fire up OBS every time, start the virtual camera and grab your iPad, and then you're going to be able to draw in Zoom Teams, and you're just going to have a wonderful time with video pencil. Right, so that is that was the video. And then just to show you, and I know that seemed like a lot, and I did just have a conversation where I was talking to Chris, who he says he was able to get video pencil working on a sort of corporate like PC without having to do a lot of firewall stuff, although he uses a lot of NDI stuff, so may have just forgotten that he'd had to do that at some point. But yeah, depending on like what networking restrictions you have, you might just not be able to access those ports. So you might not have to do all that port stuff, but this I did with a user like the other week, and he seemed to have to do it, so I thought I'd put that all in there. But yeah, on this YouTube video, you see we've got chapters for all the bits. We've got all the chapters: installing OBS, runtime, plugin, and if you have a look in here, I've got all the links. I've got which ports to open, and you can see all the chapters there. And the only thing it doesn't have is a thumbnail, really. So yeah, if anyone knows how to streamline that, then I'd be happy to update the guide. But I did go all through, yeah, as I say, I went through it with someone recently, and it seemed like a lot of it was necessary. I did wake up at 5 a.m. today thinking about another idea, which was what if I could make a Chrome extension to make Video Pencil work with Google Meet or other browser-based video software without the need for OBS, and then it would work on Mac as well. But I'm installing Windows on a machine I have here to just see if maybe I can get away with some minimal, development, and see if I can come up with anything for Windows. Because the fact is, like, I think I need to probably stop ignoring that huge proportion of the population. Now I have a baby and I can't be snobby about Macs. But yeah, I think, again, though, that said, like, you could end up with the same networking limitations with a Chrome extension anyway, so we might end up with all that port stuff. But anyway, let's have a look at Mac. I don't get or understand your animations somehow. It says, well, how do you mean which animations? Are you talking about, Lorenzo? Right, I'm going to show you Mac, but I have forgotten to share the app, so let's do that. Right, so this is let's just hit reset zoom. Okay, that's the right zoom level. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Let's make that as big as possible. So coming back here, let's have a look at the Mac one. So getting started on Mac, I'm Michael Forrest. I made Video Pencil, and today I'm going to show you the best way to use it on your Mac. So with Video Pencil, you can be in a meeting on your Mac, and you can grab your iPad, and you can see exactly where you're drawing. You can see yourself. So in order for that to work, we need a way to connect the Mac to the iPad. So there's something in between that meeting and your iPad that makes that all work. So this is called a virtual camera. There are lots of ways to get a virtual camera with Video Pencil, but I just spent the last couple of years building the absolute best way to do it on a Mac. It's called CueCam Presenter, and it automatically connects your Mac to your iPad and does all of that layering, and then just gives you the virtual camera that you can select in Zoom. It's a free download, and I'll show you how to get it now. So you're going to go to the website, cuecam.app. You're going to download that. You don't have to sign up for anything. If you click on that, you're now going to get this image. So you just drag that into applications to run it, and now it's going to ask for some permissions. So you're going to say camera access, yes. We're going to give it mic permission, yes. And just sort of have a look at these. Make sure you sort of go through each of these. I'm just showing you here how that all works. And then the next one, we're just going to install the camera extension. That's the virtual camera. So make sure you follow this open system settings, click allow, come back out. This is all Apple stuff. And then finally we're going to install the virtual mic, so just click on that, put in your password, and then once you've installed all that stuff, just make sure you quit CueCam, and then you're going to be ready to go. So now if we come into CueCam, I'll show you my desktop as it is right now. This is what CueCam looks like. You can see that Video Pencil has just automatically been found and automatically connected, and we can just start drawing, and it just works as seamlessly as that. So now you've got a virtual camera that you can select in Zoom or Teams, and you're good to go. That's all you need to know about CueCam if you just want to use Video Pencil. But remember, with CueCam's dashboard, you can draw on a lot more than your webcam. You can draw on your desktop, on pictures, on videos, on a second camera, and more. I recorded this video with CueCam. And if you're sharing something, you can even quickly move it out the way and keep talking and maybe do a quick sketch, and then sort of disappear that back out of the way without having to deal with any sort of like turning things on or off. And you've also got sound when you do your sparkle wand as well. So you can find Video Pencil. Right, so that's the nice frame to choose. That's what the Mac instructions look like, and again, this is just a bit simpler, and then the rest of that is just me saying, oh, we've got Discord, we've got the mailing list, that kind of stuff. So that is the video. So right, so that is what's next now that we've seen those. Right, now I'm going to show you how Video Pencil on Windows, how that CueCam script was put together. And so this is all about, like, you know, that could have been a very long process to make that video. If anyone's ever made sort of demo videos, you can know that can take a while. But it actually, like, most of the work was research and figuring stuff out, and very little of it was actually filming and editing. So this is what I want to show you now. So I've got to find the document and then come into demo mode. So this is, and then it keeps hiding my camera, so I just need to go dashboard. Let me come back. Oh no, it will hide my camera, that's right. Okay, so this is my script that I used for that video. So it has, so it starts off, we have a title, then I've got a little video. Yeah, so then it basically is made of this sequence of videos. I have like a little NDI one. You see I'm using the footnote syntax to put some information, like the abbreviation down here. And then I've got like my bullet points coming through. But like actually the bulk of this involves these videos. So I've basically got these variously quite big videos that sort of show each step, and I've done that. I've basically sort of trimmed out sections of those videos. So where did I get that video? I will show you Final Cut and come out of demo mode and then go back, and then I will show you Final Cut. Always the demo process. I do live tech demos every week. It's a thing. Right, so if I have a look at Final Cut Pro, I'm going to show you. So we've got Video Pencil on Windows. Can I see this? So basically I did I basically recorded for sort of over an hour of footage and got that down to about 5 minutes. So I've got all of this video footage of, if I just get rid of some of these sidebar things, can I? Yeah. So I've got all this footage of me doing stuff, and basically some of it's sped up, some of it, like a lot of it's like trimmed until like I press the button, because sometimes I'm hunting around for things. But yeah, I basically like turn this into one big video, like a 5-minute video from, like you can see, I recorded. Yeah, what's this? This one is like, how do I see how big this is? Information. Like this is 42. That's 5 minutes. That's an hour. Yeah, I've got all these different. Yeah, so all these different videos. But what I did was I trimmed them all down in Final Cut. So yeah, that is probably the bulk of the editing, just trimming all those down. But then I just brought in sort of one document into CueCam and then just started like splitting that basically. So if I come back into the thing, so what I did, the way you do this is you bring, wait, this is the wrong doc. So the way you do that is you drag the video in, and then you can sort of go over to like, so you can sort of scrub through to the point that you want it to go to the next slide, and then you can hit split, and then that's just going to split that up across 2 different cards, and then like you can sort of break out your script across all the different cards. So that's what I did here. I just broke out that script. If we look at these, you see that's that little bit of the video, that's that bit, that's that bit, that's that bit, that's that bit, and then, you know, if I needed, you know, this was the port stuff, so I put in like the port names using CueCam's titles, and yeah, just basically kind of went through that big video and sort of talked over it. But this way I didn't have to like also control the computer, so I was just able to do a clean take of presenting it without having to, you know, imagine if I tried to do that as a live demo, that would have been a nightmare. And then yeah, so that's basically how I did that. And then I ran through it, and then went back and edited it. So yeah, we've got that. So I took it into the edit, tidied up my performance a little bit, and I also took the text file it generates. So when you record a script in CueCam, it will give you this text file, which has, let me come out of demo mode. Am I in demo mode? I am in demo mode. Let me come out of demo mode and make sure that you're seeing, yeah. So basically, when you run through a script in CueCam, it's gonna, like if you opt in, it's gonna sort of summarize the script for you via ChatGPT and give you a title, but it's also gonna timestamp each time you changed cards. So, and then it's going to sort of put the text that, you know, the titles and things that it sees on those cards. So this is a really good starting point for putting that into YouTube. So what I did is, like, I rewrote this a little bit, like quite a lot, because it was all past tense and weird. I need to update the prompt. But I also, yeah, like I sort of took these as a starting point and then just sort of like did go through the video and just adjusted the timings. But this was a really good a way to sort of like get started on that process. If you just recorded a raw live tape, these would be accurate. But if you edited it afterwards, then that's, you know, it's not quite going to be it. So here's how that looks in YouTube. So you see, like, yeah, like what I've done there in the YouTube description. I've got that summary. In this video, Michael Forrest, you know, I did leave it in third person, but I put it in present tense. I put those port numbers in, and I put the links, and then I've got my, you know, these are the chapters. So I was able to just sort of like go from what was created by CueCam to this a bit quicker than I might have otherwise. So that's number 2. We're having fun, right? It's hard to do this with an audience that you can't see. But yeah, like, let's have a look at Final Cut first. So this is the Mac one. So I'm just going to show you, like, the video pencil. The first take of that was a lot longer, and like this process here, run it, and now it's going to ask for some permissions. So first it's going to say, like, you know, say that it's okay to install, and then it's going to ask you like to just allow mic access, camera access, screen recording, so that we can like share screen, and it's just going to give you a nice little checklist up here where you can select all the different things, and then it's going to just reassure you that you've done everything. So here's me sort of opening. You sort of have to open system settings for this one and turn a thing. So I had all that was feeling a bit chaotic, and then all these steps, and then like I sort of went into the sound, original sound for musicians, like virtual mic, all that stuff. I'm sort of talking about, oh, with CueCam you can do all this stuff, and then yeah, I showed it to Sharon, and she was like, is this the best you can, like, is this the simplest it can look? And I was like, I can't make it any clearer without going back to the onboarding process and updating the code, and it's hard to test, and I'm a bit scared. And she was like, yeah, but you know, I think you've got to do it. And I was like, fine. and it wasn't actually that bad in the end. So I actually went back to CueCam, figured out how to marshal the permissions into a single sequence, which involved discovering some new APIs and changing some view structures so you don't see a load of extra buttons. So before we had, I just found a new crash, and I will look at that later. So before we had, where is it? I'm trying to find my place. I need to make it when it crashes, like come back to. Oh, because it's a video loop. Is this going to crash again? We have discovered a new crash live on stream because I put in a couple of these things, but let me see if I can just show you that. I want to show you the before and after. So if I go doc, if I go, what is this? Install CueCam and do that, share my desktop. So the before was, it's basically when you landed on it, like, and I know that I'd seen my dad using it as well. Like, it's got all of the, it's got like this checklist. It's all splayed out weirdly. All the sort of pop-ups come kind of chaotically, and then it's still got like create new script, and it's got these other calls to action down here as well. So that was the before, and then the after. CueCam permissions. Let's try and find it. CueCam permissions. There. Right, so now it looks like this. So it's just a sequence. So I've just like stopped it from firing up a ton of like bits and bobs every time. So like it's not asking for everything as pop-ups until you've clicked allow on these things. So yeah, that basically involved some code change, but what it did mean was that then I was able to do like an easy demo. So then coming over to demo mode, let's find this document, Video Pencil with CueCam. Let's have a look at that. This is the CueCam document. So here, so what I was going to talk about, one of the first things was this little this animation here. Maybe that's what Lorenzo's talking about. But this is like me showing Mac, iPad, meeting, the thing in the middle. It's me just, and I just felt like I wanted to add something to explain what I was talking about. But basically, the way I did that was I just drew it live on Video Pencil and recorded it using the new record separate layers feature, and then that let me, that allowed me to then take just the pencil layer and throw that into here, and then I just like played it at 8 times speed, and then that was that. And then for these segments, I took a couple of bits out of my my demo video that I'd done, just because I thought these were quite good sort of visualizations of like what's going on. So this is here's the layering, but basically it just turns all that stuff. So it's about the network. It connects to your Mac to your iPad. This is networking, and then it just like layers that up and just turns it into something that's on your thing. But I just think like I just thought something to visualize what I'm talking about, and you can see these are sort of trimmed out of a larger video, but also like I did go back to Apple Motion and updated that animation so it didn't have quite so much stuff on it, because before it had like titles, graphics, blah, blah, blah. So now it's combining it with your webcam, drawing from iPad, webcam, whatever. And then I just had a little short video with the download button, and then I had that permissions video that I just showed you, and just kind of like I kind of just let that run through really and just talked over it. And then when we got to the virtual, I just had a picture for that to show how it works in Zoom. And then I had some bullet points once I got to the end, shared the browser, did a demo mode thing, and then yeah, just basically ran through it. And so you can see like once I just sorted out this process, the rest of the video just sort of like fell into place, right? Because I wasn't like trying to sort of talk around something that looked a bit overcomplicated. So that's Inception's level 1 and 2. That's how the Windows and Mac stuff works, followed by how I did those. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Yeah, I did do a bit more editing. Let me just share Final Cut quickly. Share app, give me Final Cut. So in Final Cut, can I zoom out, please? Okay, let's reset zoom maybe. On the CueCam dock, I did like that black thing. I did like to find a cheesy background to put behind it because I thought it was a bit boring. And then I did tighten up. You know, I've got quite a lot of J cuts and edits in here to try and tighten it up. So I spent a little bit longer on the Mac one just to try and get it really short because it was really sort of loose and long before. But yeah, so that's that. So I'm sort of like looking to see who's got questions, if anyone. But now we're going to go to Inception level number 3, which is break the fourth wall time. It's break the fourth wall time. Okay, sorry. I'm like trying out these little stupid production ideas, but hey, look, I'm going to show you so now I'm going to show you what I just did today. This is the script for today. So when I'm waiting on Zoom, I've got this, and I've got there's the countdown timer here. So you'd usually see the countdown timer, but that's set to when we start. And then when like I'm counting down to go live on YouTube, I've got my title. It switches to a different CueCam scene. And then I sort of found a little YouTube video on the internet, which I just thought it was quite cute. I was looking for like a little Russian dolls thing to kind of do this. So if we have a look at this, you see it's this like little animation of some dolls dancing, and I credited it using the that footnote feature of CueCam, and I just like, you know, sort of scrolled on a bit, hit the split button, broke it into another card. This one goes to the second one, then stops, then this one goes to the third one and then stops, and then this one goes to the fourth one, then this one goes to the little guy jumping out, which can you see? So a little guy jumps out and starts dancing, and then I took the last bit of that guy, and then I took the last bit of that guy dancing and just like looped it. So this is a looped, yeah, you see that's looping. He can dance on my finger. Oh, was that? No, that wasn't what I thought it was. Okay, so and then I did update my title sequence today as well. Yeah, so actually that's what I should be doing. I should be showing the virtual camera. So I made it a little bit longer, put in a little bit of stuff. Yeah, so I just wanted that to be a bit longer. And then, like as always, I've got my little music loop going, and then that plays on a loop until we get to stop, and then there's a 5-second fade down here. I've got my my name. I always update like the app lab number, but I keep a lot of the format stuff the same. I just save as each week. Got all my updates. You see, I've got quite a lot of text on these updates. Some screenshots and stuff that come in. All that stuff was sort of like queued up, ready to go, and then I got my browser shares. So I don't know what's going to happen if I click on those in demo mode. My siphon code bit. So you see, like I sort of ended up writing quite a lot for the script today, just to sort of like explain everything. And then I had my how to use video pencil on Windows, and I had my, you see, like I forgot to so I did the link, but I didn't have the share arc on there for some reason. And same here, I shared video pencil again. And then this, I just went to YouTube and got Inception sounds.mp4 and just put a title on top of it. Oh, we've got the loop still. So let's just go to the card that stops the loop, which is, and I like having the loop free running because it means, yeah, there it is. So here's the loop. So let's stop the music, and then yeah, just sort of like quite the baby Pingu, right? And then my titles, and then I sort of went to the website, showed the things, then I've got my sort of Final Cut screen share, but it's a lot of notes to myself as well. So like load the video pencil on Windows CueCam dock and go into demo mode, and then like some notes for myself, back to that, you know, talk about the things, sort of note the things I want to talk about. These are all coming through to my teleprompter. That's the thing I should mention as well. Like I've got a teleprompter running, and that's where all this goes. And then yeah, so this is all the bits. I did the Inception sound, and something that's good to know, if you do want to reuse a video, so I use the Inception sound here. If you go, you can go copy video, and then you can like click on the other card and you can go paste video, and that will just like, that makes it quick to sort of like reuse a video. These are the cards that crashed. So these were some little video loops. So I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that now. And then yeah, like I made sure I exit demo mode, which should happen when I come onto this. Oh no, because we're not presenting. So if I press this, we're going to come out of demo mode. And then I did my little break the fourth wall. And then at the end, so what I'll do is get ready. Please like show some, if you've got some questions, please come up with them, pop them up. But yeah, I'm going to sort of make sure that my Evo is plugged in. I'm going to come over to the shoot camera. And I'm going to apologize because I've got some kind of crazy sunburn on my fingers. So like I'll try and like keep them not too big in frame. We've got the deluge ready for a little bit of music. You see on my iPad, I can see that I'm in demo mode. If I exit demo mode, well, I'll come back to the ending first. So I'm going to come out of demo mode. So that's breaking the fourth wall section. That's what my script looks like for doing these live streams. So hopefully that sort of demystifies what's going on here and how all the stuff's happening. And yeah, that's all going out to eCam Live, and I'm just streaming with eCam Live. I've been meaning to put a photo of like my desk set up into the break the fourth wall bit as well, but I forgot to do that this week. But yeah, so yeah, if there's no questions or comments, and I think I know, I think Lorenzo's talking about my, I think you're talking about my promo video, which does flash through very quickly a lot of stuff. I wanted something that was very short, and then if people want to dig in deeper, they can dig in deeper, or I can sort of show you more detail on the individual bits. But I think it's quite good to have a quick sort of like snazzy image just to kind of like quickly mention something, because there's too much stuff to mention around here, frankly, so I need some visual aids. Squares.tv/Discord is where we hang out and where you can get help when I'm asleep, and you can always email me, michael@squares.tv, and I will do my best to help you get sorted out with CueCam, with Shoot, with Video Pencil, with Beat Sheet even. And so yeah, I'm going to put my headphones on and play us out. And I'm trying to figure out how to hang my green screen horizontally so that I don't get cropped off like this, but I need some poles or something. But yeah, I shall thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Have a great week, and let's play some music.